it's very possible that you can get back in the game very quickly as Norristown starts off this juncture of the game now with all their starters back in the game, minus Sleem Campbell, but Maurice Allen has taken a spot in. Well, he should. He has 20 points on the night so far as Green works it around inside to Eddie Moore. Eddie Moore with a touch shot. It's good, and he'll be fouled. Ed Moore picks up his 14th point. He'll go to the line, and the foul's on number 54, maybe TJ Stansel.
Ed Moore really picked up his play this half, and just a great factor for the Eagles right now. They're finding him underneath, which they were having problems doing earlier in the game, but he is becoming a presence.
That's right. He's the third Eagle in double digits to join Shockley and Maurice Allen. As Bensalem tries to work it up, they have it all alone. Here's Krishan Lewis, and he puts a little magic of his own in the basket. He brings up the Bensalem crowd with a dunk.
Yeah, we heard some cheers behind us there. Bensalem trying to get their team back in this game.
Oh, Tolson works the baseline. It's no good. Here's Lewis again. Can he hit the three-pointer? Yes and no. No, he can. It goes in and out. Moore with a rebound, and Marcus Green's quick to get that ball back. Here's TJ Tolson.
Great hustle by Marcus Green all over the place on that play. Honestly, he had no right to get to that ball, and he got there.
And he had a great pass to TJ Tolson. And speaking of great, Krishan Lewis is putting on an exhibition here for Bensalem. He does a little clockwise alley-oop sort of play and scores 2 points, and he's fouled.
Thank goodness this is the second half, because this was the first half. Eagles might be in trouble because Krishan Lewis is starting to feel the heat, and he is really, really playing well all of a sudden.
He's turning up the heat for the Bensalem Owls. He misses the free throw, but the Eagles take over. Green pushes it up to Allen, and now Tolson. Tolson with a little 10-footer. Check that, about 6 foot. And he sinks 2 points, and he has 6 points on the night. So Lewis brings it up, passes it to Art Brown. Brown inside to Reap. Over to Browse, now to Schamberger. Schamberger working the baseline. It's no good. Art Brown right there for the putback. Art Brown has 4 points.
The Owls making their last little effort here, trying to get something going. Still, they need to come up with a defensive stop right here.
Still down by 19 as Marcus Green threads the needle and passes back to Shockley, and they're going to pull back for a little bit of delay basketball. As Green and Allen are playing catch with Krishan Lewis in the middle. Green content at half court. Now he's guarded by Lewis. Now it's Allen. Over to Green. Green pushes it up. Tolson in the corner. Back to Maurice Allen. Maurice Allen going to add. Yes, he is. Basket's good, and there's going to be a foul going the other way. It's going to be on Eddie Moore. Maurice Allen did score the three-pointer there. He has 23 points on the night, and he increases the Norristown lead to 22. However, there was a foul on the play, and the Eagles are now in the 1-and-1. Excuse me, the Owls are now in the 1-and-1. The Eagles have scored or clocked their 7th foul.
Getting your birds mixed up there.
I don't know. Eagles, Owls, Hawks. I don't know where I am anymore. But that's Eddie Moore's 4th foul here late in the game. 4:03 left in the game, and I guess he can afford that foul. It was a dumb foul, but they can afford it with such a big lead. And we have Art Brown going to the line for the Owls. Art Brown puts in his 5th point of the night. He'll have another shot at his 6th point. As now the lead is now 21 points for the Eagles.
Even if Norristown didn't increase the lead, which they honestly did by 3 points, but even if they didn't increase the lead, they just came in to stop the bleeding a little bit, just to get those subs back in.
Marcus Green pushes it up for the Eagles. Maurice Allen with a no-look pass to Tolson in the corner. Back to Green at the top. Green, it's going to be called, there's going to be a foul underneath. It's going to be on Bensalem number 23, Art Brown. Underneath the basket, away from the ball. As Norristown was playing a little hot potato with the ball on the outside. And this is a smart play here by Green. Green pushes himself way back into the back court and takes some time off the clock and gets a safe pass from the inbounds. There's Allen. He's being harassed there by two Bensalem plays. Eddie Moore into Tolson in the corner. Tolson pulls up, and Tolson drains a three-pointer.
Tolson, ate a pizza, had a soda, and still had time to pull the trigger on that. He had so much time over in the corner.
That's right. No one was guarding him. Eddie Moore dished him the nice pass there. And speaking of nice, Art Brown gets his 8th point of the night right there. Here comes Ryan Shockley. Shockley no good, but he was fouled. And I guess that's what he'll be able to blame that dunk for not going in. He'll say it was fouled.
We know the coaches aren't too happy with that. They didn't look too pleased with that. Obviously, they still think there's a little bit of time left in this game, and you can see Coach McGee was a little bit distraught by that play.
Yeah, I'm thinking from the mind of a basketball coach, if a guy's going up for a dunk, you want him to make it. As Maurice Allen takes his seat on the bench, he has 23 points, and we have a new substitute here, number 33, Milan Dean. I believe Milan is a sophomore, and I'll tell you, he's an up-and-coming player. But getting back to the slam dunk, also, Coach McGee doesn't want anyone to get injured. He doesn't want one of his players getting injured this time in the season. We're getting down near the playoff time. We're in the heart of January and everything, so he doesn't want anybody coming down on an ankle or a wrist or anything. As Krishan Lewis tries the three-pointer, it's no good. Eddie Moore almost a block there, but Lewis scores. And Lewis now has amassed a lot of points. He has 16 for the Owls. Green threading the needle. And he's got to get fouled somewhere. He pushed himself into a lot of defenders there.
Well, going back to your point about Ryan Shockley going up for the dunk, some people think that it's just going up and Coach McGee didn't want anybody to showboat there. But you brought up a very good point that Coach McGee also doesn't want anybody to get hurt. And that's a problem that always happens when you go up the dunk, because players will always try and prevent that.
Yeah, it's called submarining. They go right underneath and they try to take your legs out. And they're not trying to hurt you, but they're trying to stop you from getting the ball in the rim or in the basket. And it happens a lot in the NBA, and it happens a lot in college, where a guy goes up for a dunk, loses his balance, and really has no recourse but to fall down because of gravity. And there's a 50-50 chance that you're going to land on your back, which could prevent, cause a spinal problem or an injury to your neck. And that's not good, as Marcus Green drains 2 of them. And now the Eagles have a 22-point lead, just under 3 minutes to go. I see this a lot in college, too, where coaches are real worried about this dunking thing. They keep stressing to their players, it doesn't count anymore if you dunk the ball. It's still 2 points, as Eddie Moore is going to be called on his 5th foul. Got a block, but also a foul. He'll go to the bench with 5 fouls, but also 15 points, as Lee Fowler gets up off the bench for the Eagles. Coach McGee shakes his hand, as does Coach Behrens and Coach Monaco, along with Binky Johnson and the whole Norristown crew, as this crowd gives them a nice round of applause. And Art Brown goes to the line for Bensalem.
Ed Moore, with no reason to hang his head right now, played a great second half, came out and led this team in the second half and put them where they are right now.
That's right, and he turned a lot of the Bensalem easy points into difficult points, because he has that intimidating 6'8" frame. Art Brown puts both of them in, and now he has 10 points, and the Eagles are now ahead by just 20 with just over 2.5 minutes to go, as Milan Dean pushes the baseline. Oh, that was a crime there. Art Brown stepped on the line, but the referee was out of position. But the Eagles get it back.
I think he had a photographer in his way there.
That's right. Marcus Green all the way to the basket. It's no good. Aquil Flythe back in the game now. Ahead to Art Brown. Over to Schamberger, and Schamberger puts the basket in, and he's fouled.
Well, you like to see that out of Marcus Green. A little chance for him to try and show his talents. He has pretty much been restricted from basically individual talents, and it's nice to see him just get a little bit of time to maybe, drive to the hole a couple times.
Yeah, and there's another thing at work here, I'm sure. There's Schamberger puts in his 14th point. He's a sophomore. We've got Milan Dean out there. You've got Lee Fowler, check that. You got Weldon out there, another underclassman, and he's going to have to start working with these guys, because that's his team next year. As another dunk goes away for the Eagles, and that's number 10 for Bensalem. Goaltending on the Owls. That was Jason Stansel, who's in the game. He took the shot. It went away, and Krishan Lewis tried to dunk it. He was called off on a goaltending. His hand got into the cylinder before the ball there. And we have another substitute. That's number 20, Jeff Purr. who I believe is the coach's son, Sheldon Purr, the Bensalem coach. There's Roscoe, all the way to the basket's no good. Weldon rebound, Schamberger with a block. Schamberger says, I can do what Ed Moore can do. And Norristown will keep the ball.
Schamberger completely forgetting about those 4 fouls, and this late in the game, you really have to.
As we have a substitute for the Owls, number 22, Anthony Nuzzi, checking in for Schamberger. Schamberger sits down with 14 points and 4 fouls. As Mayo drives towards the basket, puts it up, it's no good. Lee Fowler with a rebound, turnaround, 2 points for Lee Fowler. He now has 6. Half a dozen points for the substitute center, Lee Fowler. Getting a lot of time now that Ed Moore is fouled out. And Roscoe steals the ball, and the fan favorite is going up for a layup, and he's got it. Joe Roscoe, 4 points on the night. That's
got this crowd going again. Sort of got a little dead here after Norristown knew that we were basically going to get the win here, but Joey Roscoe off the bench, electrifying the crowd.
There's Nuzzi, no good. And Jason Stansel takes the ball. There's Purr, no good. A lot of sloppy play now here by the Owls. As Stansel now has the ball, passes it over to TJ Stansel. He takes a 3-pointer and he drains it. TJ Stansel gets into the scoring column for the Owls. He has his first 3 points as Joe Roscoe now has the ball for the Eagles, working on Stansel. Puts up a shot, it's partially blocked. It's Purr with the ball, dribbles around Bobby Mayo, 3-on-1. Back to Flythe. Flythe gets Melandine way up in the air, and Bobby Mayo steals the ball. It's going to be a traveling call on Bobby Mayo, and he was roughed up in the process, but it'll belong to Bensalem. As the clock ticks down, now we have 31.8 seconds left in the game, and Norristown enjoys an 18-point lead. As we have another substitute, number 11, Chris Walton checks into the game. Chris, a senior, 5'10" guard. And we have all substitutes on the floor now for both teams. Bensalem looking to get as many points as they can here to close it. Shot's no good. Rebound, Lee Fowler over to Joe Roscoe. Joe gets away with a travel. Weldon with a drive right down the center of the lane. Brad Weldon now with 5 points. Another exciting game here at Norristown Area High School, and another victory. They're going to go to 9-0 in the league as Anthony Nuzzi scores 2 for Bensalem. We're under 5 seconds. Norristown with 9-0 record in the league, and I'm sure a very happy Coach McGee and Coach Behrens, along with Coach Monaco and Johnson on this game. It's 80-62, the final tally. Greg, you want to say some words about the Eagles?
Well, you know, a very impressive performance. They did come out flat. They, however, sucked it up. You know, they came back in, and second half they came out very, very strong. Got into their rhythm, finally started to get the ball inside to Ed Moore, their big man, and that's the key to their offense. I do have to say, a great performance by Maurice Allen off the bench. Very impressive. It's always tough to come off the bench with basically no blood running through the legs, and you got to come in and you got to produce, and he did that tonight. And I do have to say that Lee Fowler did an excellent job off the bench for Ed Moore. Ed Moore's shoes, as I said before, are very tough to fill, and he did a very nice job filling them.
All right, Norristown had 4 guys in double figures. Ryan Shockley with 11, Ed Moore with 15. Maurice Allen, I checked that, 3 guys in double figures. Maurice Allen had 23. As far as Bensalem goes, they had a couple guys in double figures too. That's Schamberger with 14, Lewis with a surprising 16, and Aquil Flythe with 11. But the score was 80-62 in favor of Norristown. In the second half scoring, Norristown outscored them 43-37. Most of that second half was taken on by the second stringers or the substitutes for Norristown. But they come out with a victory nonetheless, an 18-point win, and I'm sure Coach McGee's happy about that one as they move to 9-0 in the conference or in the league. And looking ahead, we're going into midterms here at Norristown. They have a couple games coming up. I believe they're all league games from here on out. And I'm not sure of the next game, but for right now, Greg, it was a pleasure to have you here. Hopefully we can work again together. It was a great job by you.
Pleasure being here with you, and nice to fill in, you know, every once in a while for Mr. John Price.
We want to say thanks to our 2 able-bodied cameramen, Carl Moore and Carl Baker, and we want to thank Cheryl Emerson for helping us out with this game. This is Neil Schaefer signing off for NSD TV as Norristown beats Bensalem 80-62.